Hi everyone, I'm Chris.
And I'm Adam.
And today we are unboxing the Warlock tiles from Wizkids.
This man, extremely excited about this. He can't contain himself.
Been waiting 2 weeks to unbox these.
So we're going to get right into it and see what we got.
Okay, so what we have are the Dungeon Tiles Dungeon Beginner Set, the Tavern Beginner Set, and then the Accessories set, which the accessories is going to be very exciting.
Yep.
But you actually get quite a lot. Like, look at that. That's a 4x4 tile right there, and on the back, wood. So you got stone, but then you also have wood. That's super nice, and they're already painted, so you don't have to worry about that for the lazy dungeon master, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm a lazy dungeon master. I say I'm gonna paint things, and I don't get around to it because I have children.
I am too. I don't get around to it just because I'm lazy. But yeah, you got the smaller tiles here, which, by the way, let's go ahead and say this is really well packaged.
Very well packaged.
That holds everything you need. It's all together. You could easily put this back in and, you know, not make a mess. So for those of us that like to be neat, I have to say this is pretty good. Also like to say this is the first time we're seeing these, aside from, you know, a couple other YouTube videos, but this is our first real impressions of these.
And the way you put them together is you get these little things that basically they're going to click into each other. And the one great thing that the Warlocks, or the people that made this, did is that they made it so that you can actually use it with other things as well. So like there's other companies that make tiles and dungeon tiles and stuff, and you can actually work them together in tandem with these as well.
Pretty good idea. That way you don't waste your money and have to buy more stuff, because everybody's tight on money most of the time, and we don't have enough money to spend on any random thing.
I'm gonna break this.
So
I keep hearing that you're not gonna break them until you get a thing, and
apparently my partner here is having trouble.
I'm having trouble
figuring it out.
Okay, minor issue, but no, these things are actually very sturdy. So you just one clip and two clips, and they're on there now.
Luckily, you're going to be a little flat because they're not. They're got a little give to them, a little movement back and forth, but that's pretty good. Ow! No, that's very pointy. But as you can see, this does add a lot of extra flavor to what you're dealing with there.
How funny is it that they actually added a chevre de frise in there?
How funny is it that you actually said that correctly?
I'm playing a campaign, and I have a one of my player characters uses it quite often.
Yeah, because I couldn't have got that correct. That's French, but wouldn't that be fun?
But
come flying out of the ceiling.
There's a whole lot going on right here, so we're gonna take a quick pause, put some stuff together, and then show you guys some of the stuff that we actually put together with this.
Alright, so we took some time and we put some of these together just to see how, you know, they will work, get the feel of taking them out of the box, how easily they set up. At first we had a little trouble getting the tiles to stick together, but
yeah, it's actually really simple. If you get the first click, it's okay. When you put them in the next one, you're gonna get one click, but if you wiggle it a little bit, it goes right in. If you're just trying to push straight in, it's actually a lot more difficult, but once you wiggle it a little bit, they just go right in.
Yeah, so really easy to put together, two-sided, which is really nice, so you can go back and forth, which you can tell on mine, I decided to go with an end theme, or well, a bandit lord maybe, who is captured some gold, and I decided to put stone with wood. Chris decided to go with a dungeon and make it look, kind of that, a little different. So a couple of neat things is you got your little treasure chest, and you can pull it up a little bit. You can take the treasure chest and you can pull out the gold, and then you can close the treasure chest, stick it there. So a little surprise for your players. I kind of have it where I can pull this in or out, so you can add on to, take away. But I really like the detail. It's all pretty much the same thing. It's all pretty simple, but it adds a lot to the game. You could probably take some time and maybe change a few pieces or here or there, but for what you get, this is really good. Several different things. You got little mini walls that will fit in between each tile, which is nice because you can still fit a miniature here. You've got tiny little chairs that fit inside each square, so if you're gonna play with your miniatures and keep that 5 foot distance, this will really work.
Also like the removable walls, because what if your characters break down a wall?
I've had a character that notoriously would not break down doors because he got his leg almost cut off and had to have it reattached and healed. So what he would do instead is find a weak spot in the wall and break that sucker down. So if you have players like me, they'll probably do that too. And that just makes it easy. Windows are a nice touch. Also the doors. Now they're kind of tight, so you'll have to mess with them a little bit. Maybe you might have to shave just a little bit if you want to move better, but hey, the doors do open.
Yep. Boom. Open. And I like the fact that the doors are actually hinged and can open and close. It's really nice. Do the windows do that too?
No, the windows are in place.
Windows are in place. Still awesome. I like the fact that there was. I didn't even know there were windows in that set.
Yeah.
So that's really nice. But also the fact that these are reversible, which means if you get the dungeon tile and the tavern tile, you can flip these over and use them and just create one huge tavern or one huge dungeon. And yeah, I still have a bunch of pieces here that I didn't use. And
I have a bunch that I chose not to use.
Yeah, and like even this setup right here, like if you click everything in together, I'm not going to lie, it's going to take some time. Like it took us, what, 30 minutes?
30 minutes to kind of put
it. I think it took you about 20 minutes, and it took me 30 minutes.
Yeah, but that was with some playing around. If you already have an idea, maybe you've sketched out your floor plan already, it won't be so bad. Yeah. Especially if you have an idea of what kind of chamber you're trying to make, it'll probably be a lot easier and a lot better.
Right, and you don't have to clip them in. Like, if you want, you could just clip one room in and then fix the others. Like, I have this one clipped in, which I love how sturdy that is. I can grab one piece and pick up the whole thing. But this one is literally just, I put it here and I move the pieces in place and bam, like you have your extra room. You didn't have to clip anything. That takes, less than a minute to do.
Now, I made sure not to clip mine in multiple directions. If you're going to clip in multiple directions, it's going to stay in there pretty tight. So maybe if you want one that's going to stick around for a while, make sure to put the clips in several different spots, maybe create an angle, but otherwise just keep on one side and try and keep it together will be just fine. It'll hold for your session that night.
Also, with the accessories, I like that the barrels came with different tops. Like you have a normal top, you have a top, I believe that could be water or acid. So like that's kind of a nice aesthetic because a lot of players are visual. So when you give them something and like they look at it, like sometimes you don't even have to describe as a dungeon master. It's like, hey, wait a minute, that barrel over there. So that's super great that they even added that in there.
Yeah. Also, you could just plant little surprises for your players inside that don't have anything to do with that. So since this is empty, you can say, yeah, you can just open that barrel and find out. And maybe they'll find a skull in there.
Take a little piece of paper, roll it up, and then like pour it out and like, hey, you found a scroll. Or
you could put inside here, gotcha. Maybe write a little note and have them unfold the thing. And, it could be a note. Like we've seen in one of our treasures before that says, I owe you. So
yeah, I remember that.
yeah, that wasn't very nice. But all in all, this is really good. I really don't have many problems. Actually, I really don't have any problems with what I've seen compared to old dungeon tiles where everything's kind of what it is, and then seeing some of the other types of tile sets you can get, like Dwarven Forge or Adventure tiles.
Yeah, well, now with the Dwarven Forge, the walls are actually higher than these. They purposely made these walls lower. That way, everyone across the table can clearly see over them. But now, as a dungeon master, you could always just tell the players that, hey, these walls are 10 feet, so they'll be okay with it.
One thing that's missing, though, ability to have a chandelier up top. Because we already know.
Yeah, how are you going to do that, though?
I don't know. We need to figure that out. Because
you'd almost have to have a clear base with, like, a chandelier on it, or you could put, like, a token down that says, like, chandelier
here. I feel that's one very important thing that's missing from this, just because that's funny.
Yeah, but that's so tricky.
Oh, well.
Tricky.
What this will do for ideas, like what this could do and help your campaign, there's a lot, honestly. You have a way to visually make what you want. You have a plug-and-play system, so you can kind of grow as you want, or you can just change things on the fly. Like, you don't have to leave things perfectly set. You can just say, oh, this chain is changing. I mean, there's
Plus,
so many.
if you want,
adventure ideas.
You could pre-make some of these and just have them set off in like a box or somewhere where the players can't see, and then as they explore them, pull them out, and then like that way you're not drawing stuff, you're not making it at the table. You just pre-make a few of these because they give you enough tiles where you could pre-make, it just with one of the starter boxes, at least 3 rooms or maybe 3 or 4 interconnecting rooms. And like, I mean, these rooms are obviously still pretty big, but I mean, you could even go on a grander scale and it'd be okay.
I mean, you could get a good section of a dungeon made before you'd have to take it apart. And really, if you're smart about it, you can make, a couple. This is what these look like if you go with the classic blocky kind of style dungeon, and then just kind of move them around.
Or even just like interchange things here and there, like
this
every room is going to be this size, and then I just change up and just changing things here and there. That's not going to take much time at all.
No, it's really not. But I feel that this is worth its weight.
Yeah,
for sure.
Worth the each starter one is $100, and then the accessories kit is $50. They have some other ones that I have yet to purchase. I really want the stairs one because with the stairs one, you can actually, it's got a slot in one of the stairs, so you can slide the mini into that slot. So it's like, hey, my guys are on these stairs.
See, now that's awesome. That's a really good idea.
Yeah. But I mean, they're already assembled, they're already painted. You have moving parts, and there's just a lot you can do with these. And I mean, me being a lazy dungeon master and saying I'm going to do all these things and not actually having enough time or getting around to it, this is so much better. Like, I would just love to. It wouldn't take me. I could easily find 30 minutes to an hour to put something together, whereas 30 minutes to an hour making this and painting it myself I wouldn't get much done.
So if you're one of those that likes to more artsy, likes to actually change up their things, honestly, these are simple enough that you could take any special effects like blood effects, maybe if you've ever played Warhammer 40k, all the paints that they have there, or Reaper paints and stuff like that. They have several different things. You could add corrosion or acid.
Wizkids actually has their own paint lineup that's similar as well.
Oh, Wizkids as well. You could add blood effects. You could paint some more, add murals on there. And if you follow the same kind of feel to it, you could actually build your own pieces. Because, I mean, all these are just little metal clips. If you could find something comparable to that, or just add to these little walls, you could build like stained glass windows or anything, or you could add wanted posters on there. I've seen people take and make small little cutouts and stick them on there for extra little flavor
for the unlazy dungeon master.
Right. But all in all, you get a lot.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch, and like we said, we didn't even use everything. I still have a bunch of tiles over here that I didn't use, and I mean, yeah, there's enough for me to create a whole nother room just right here on the tiles that I didn't use. Yeah, all of these tiles and these extra borders.
So much more. I mean, I barely used anything on mine. You could definitely make a whole mansion with what you got in the other one. And then all these little extra little pieces, I mean, you can find them in any dungeon or any tavern or any temple. I mean, you got a little stone altar, different, gold. They'll be usable and compatible with all the other ones. So, really, you have a lot of options, which is good. This is what all RPG players need, a lot of options. And, even though this is made for Dungeons and Dragons, I don't see why you couldn't use this for other games like Call of Cthulhu or Werewolf,
Vampire, Pathfinder. You could probably even use it for games like maybe Blades in the Dark and some of those other games, which that's a little more story driven. But if you wanted players that wanted to play it with a visual aid like this, I mean, why not?
Yeah. Everybody enjoys a good visual aid. It's fun to play in the mind and actually, everybody think of the same thing. That's great and all, but not everybody thinks the same way, so it's best to have a little helpful reminder in these. Also,
when you have visual aids like this, I feel like players are more engaged and they tend to stay more focused, and it creates less cutting up at the table because everyone's like, oh, okay, like we're in this room and they're actually looking and trying to figure things out.
Yeah. Be careful though. DM pro tip: if you've got a trap or a secret door, don't make it obvious. So don't have a room built with this door being hidden here and then obviously have this added on if you don't want them to go, hey, there's a secret door. I would recommend hiding that from them because
that's one of
most
things
players can't.
You build on the side and then add it in if they find
most
it.
Players can't stop themselves from when they oh, what's that? And they press that button.
Yeah, it's hard to unmeta what you can see.
That's right. So I think this is worth the money. Personally,
it was 100% worth every penny I spent into it.
I can't wait for us to actually use this in our campaign. When we get started back during this COVID crisis. But it's worth it.
It's definitely worth it. I mean, I would suggest it to anyone. If you've got the money to spend on it, definitely go support your local gaming store and definitely buy these.
Yep. So, if you like what you're seeing here, and you could like and subscribe, and hopefully... cut that too. All right. So, if you like what you've seen here, you could like and subscribe to us. We're going to try and bring you more things, hopefully some unboxing and some more of our opinions and takes on the game to help you with your stories at the table and have more fun and options for fun.
Yeah, and just overall creating a better gaming experience at your table.
All right. See you guys later.